today I want to talk to you about a certain topic, and that topic is one that many other content creators are bringing to light, and that is using a combination of an invisibility potion and the assassin's jacket to dismount off someone's screen and then walk while invisible up to someone, either gathering or killing mobs, and then blowing them up as fast as possible. And a lot of these content creators, they're somewhat on the money about what weapons you should use. However, I did some major tests, and here are the results. Alright, so on screen, these are the damage numbers if you are using a tier 8 flat weapon. You can get similar numbers if you're using 7.1, which a lot of these YouTubers use in their PvP compilation clips and their roaming black zone, red zone PvP clips. But I also tested for those of us who are budget friendly and smart about our spending if we just used our regular 4.1. So let me break down what this is. So the way your damage scaling works with Assassin's Jacket is as you set invisible, you will stack up to 10 stacks, which will give you a 40% damage increase on your next attack. So if you're using bolt casters, that next attack would be your E spell, right? Well, in that case, you only deal 2,568 damage to a target dummy. Whereas if you use your W2 first, that spell deals 40% increased damage, and then the E does not, but your W2 from Boltcaster is an armor shred, and as you can see in the results, you deal significantly more damage if you use W2 before you cast E, and then if you use W4, which is a silence spell from invisibility, which you will land, the enemy can't react or use escape or defensives during your E, dealing 2,516 damage. So it's up to you which one you want to use, okay? I also tried other popular weapons, so like, for instance, the regular crossbow, the E only did 1397, but if you W2 into E, it's 1997, but without a Scholar's Robe or W1, your crossbow's E spell takes forever to cast, and people can react accordingly with a defensive spell. Also, light crossbow with Moisac, W2 into E was 2,322, more on light crossbow later, okay? Claws were found superior in damage to daggers, however, claws are a multi-hit, so again, defensives can ruin that, whereas dagger pair is a one big hit and then a slow bleed. Not really that slow, it's a pretty quick bleed. So it's about a 200 damage difference. Pick whichever one you prefer. I thought Great Axe would do really good here. With the W2 buff into E, it only did 1700. Grovekeeper W, one of the hardest hitting single melee attacks in the game, not only is it too slow to use, it only dealt 1000 damage. The mace with Moisac's W was 642, and a full mace combo was only 1413, though this will hold down your opponent and probably get in more auto attacks. Hellfire Hands was a popular choice amongst a few of the YouTubers in question, but calculating the damage with a flat tier 8 at maximum specs, you can see it's only 2,645, so the Boltcaster really is a better option. And then that's combining the E, the W1, and the two Q hits, right? Two Q2 hits. When I say Q123, W123, if you open your weapon's skills, the first one is 1, the second one is 2, and the third one is 3. So Q2 is the second Q ability on that weapon. Alright, then Bow of Badon, which seems nerfed, only dealt 2,052 damage, but if you use W4 to hold your opponent in place and hit them with a Q1, that's 2,600 plus damage. I didn't quite get the exact number, but it's over 2,600, so it is a contender. It is pretty good. Also, the Bow of Badon silences people while they're in the storm, which is really, really good. Well, it's not entirely a silence, it's more like a little constant interrupt of sorts. But now let's get into the budget mode, okay? A 4.1 Boltcaster currently on the market is about 30,000 silver from Bridgewatch. And you can hit someone with just W2 and E for 2,288, not even counting Q1. Now, if you add a Mage Cowl, this is where things get interesting, and I'm going to teach you how to properly use the Mage Cowl in this ganking build, okay? So if you use a Mage Cowl into W2 into E, you deal 3,118 damage with a Beef Stew active. The rest of the tests, I did not test with the Beef Stew. Okay, now I've also had a bug with Mage Cowl where it applied twice, and I don't know how, or I could only trigger it one time. I don't know how I triggered it. I reviewed the footage, and I've never been able to do it again. But that time I dealt 3.7 thousand damage. If anyone figures out this bug, you just won Corrupted Dungeons until they fix it. I don't know how it's done, so don't ask me. I've tried and tried and tried to replicate that bug, and I can't do it. But also, 700 spec 4.1 light crossbow without an offhand because we want to save money. A 4.1 light crossbow is like 3,000 silver, guys. 3,000 silver. Okay? And with a mage cowl into auto attack, into W2, into E, into Q1 is 2,417 damage. All of this goes off very, very quickly. The problem with bolt casters is it holds you in place, and people can use an interrupt or a defensive daring the channel to negate some of the damage, whereas light crossbow, the only real channel you're doing is in your Q1 spell. The rest of them pretty much go off immediately. Yes, the W2 is a channeled ability as well, but it's so fast, and because you're casting it right out of invisibility, most people can't react in less than 1 second. Okay, so it is by far the most budget-friendly choice out of all of these, though it is not the highest damage. It is definitely worth looking into. Remember, this 4.1 little combo here is doing more damage than the tier 8s up above with max spec. Because most of us aren't going to push our spec beyond 100, especially for a whole weapons tree. It's just not relevant for our combat fame credits. It costs us too much silver, too much time investment. It's just not worth doing for the mediocre damage that you get. So let me talk about Mage Cowl and how it works with Assassin's Jacket. Okay, so when you cast Assassin's Jacket, you go invisible and you get that stacking buff to your damage. Okay, the way recently that the game has been working now, and this was not the case in the past, your Mage Cowl, when you cast it with 10 stacks on your Assassin's Jacket, it snapshots the damage buff. Even if the Assassin Jacket buff runs out, as long as your Mage Cowl buff remains active, it snapshots it. However, this does not work the other way around. So if you cast your Mage Cowl, and then buff your damage, and then hit someone with the Mage Cowl poison, you do not receive additional damage. What this means, though, is that when you snapshot Mage Cowl, you can hit your opponent later with that buffed damage, and it will deal tons of damage. So the way it works, okay, is you drink your invisibility potion and you walk towards your target. Before your invisibility potion runs out, you then cast your Assassin Jacket invisibility and you walk towards your target. Right as you get to your target, you cast your Mage Cowl, you press spacebar or left-click your opponent, depending on your control style, to start attacking your opponent, which will then dispel or get rid of their mount. And you immediately cast W2 into E into Q1, and that is what's going to deal tremendous amounts of damage. Now, I wanted to show you some examples of this ganking in action. However, after spending 2 entire hours in both the red and black zones trying to find targets, I would either chug an invisibility potion, walk towards my target, and they're already gone, or they had ESP and knew I was there, or they just greatly outgeared me. Or there's like 20 of them. Okay, I couldn't find a single solo fight. But this guy, he wanted to fight, and I'm just like, whatever. My set's worth 15,000 anyway. So I'm just waiting on my cooldowns until I dismount him, because I don't want him to be dismounted until I have my other abilities up. Anyway, guys, I wish I could show you this build in action, but it just took too damn long. I ain't got time. I'm sorry. I know. Whatever. This is not a PvP channel anyway, really. Anyway, guys, I'm SwolBenji. Thanks for watching. As always, be a bro, stay swole. Make sure you leave a like. I read every comment. If you want to help me out, click the thanks button. If you want to become a channel member, click the join button. $5 a month. Thank you so much. Videos every day. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's video. And yeah, there you go. Took him out. There you go. Take care. Bye. See you tomorrow.